Hey, for our God Time devotion today, I'm looking at just one verse. It's James chapter 4, verse 15. Instead, you should say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. Somebody has said one time, do you want to make God laugh? Just tell him your plans. I've had experiences like that, and maybe you have too. I was thinking about one of those. It was back when Tammy and I were going to be graduating from Bible college. We had really felt the Lord kind of lead us or call us to plant a church and to do this in Colorado Springs, in that area. And so we had gone out there, traveled out to Colorado Springs. Had never lived in Colorado before. We were living in Kansas, going to Bible college. And we thought, man, maybe this is what God has for us. It sure is. No, it's beautiful out here. I mean, that would be a great benefit. And so we were making plans and kind of had our heart set on starting a church out near Colorado Springs. Well, during this time, my sister Yvette married a fella from Indiana. So we went to the wedding of Ron and Yvette, and he was from Farmland, Indiana. So we traveled from Kansas to Indiana. We'd never been to Indiana before. And we got to this church, and it was a small church on a dead-end street in small little Farmland, Indiana. And I remember standing in that church and thinking to myself, God, I sure am glad you've called me to Colorado. It sure is a lot more beautiful than Indiana. God, thank you for not calling me to a place like Farmland and to a church like this. I remember being in that church and looking at the pews and the old building, like 100 years old, and the orange and green shag carpet that I was standing on. And I just remember thinking, man, thank you for not calling me here. Well, you could probably guess what happened. The plans fell through to plant a church in Colorado, and the Lord led us a different direction. And within 5 years, I was the pastor of that church, knowing full well that God had arranged it and orchestrated all of that. I can just imagine the moment that I'm standing in that spot and I'm telling God that I'm thankful that I'm not going to do that. I imagine he called over the angels and others, listen to this, watch what I'm about to do with this guy. In fact, I remember before we built a new building and moved out of that church on the dead-end street, I went back and I cut out that spot of carpet where I stood, and I told God I wouldn't do something just to remind myself that God has plans that supersede my plans. You see, we make our plans, we set our schedule, but we leave all of it in God's hands. The Lord is in control of all the details. Nothing slips by him. Nothing surprises him. And that gives us just this certainty as we confidently move into the future, knowing that God has everything in hand. And so this is my prayer. Lord, help me not to presume upon your plans and your will, but to order my life so that I'm working with you and not against you. I would just encourage you not to think that you're going to hold on to all of your plans and all that you have in front of you, but to really hold it loosely in your hands and ask that the Lord's will would be done as he directs you. He can do that today, and he'll direct you tomorrow and well into the future as well. All right, God bless you. Have a good day.